What if I told you that two routine blood tests your doctor already runs could be disagreeing with each other right now, and that disagreement might be silently predicting your risk of kidney failure, heart disease, or even death? A massive new study involving over 860,000 people just uncovered something shocking about these tests that could change how we catch life-threatening diseases years before symptoms appear. Welcome to Mind and Marvel, where we break down the latest scientific breakthroughs that actually matter to your life. And trust me, this one really matters. Here's the situation. For years, doctors have been using two different blood tests to check how well your kidneys are working. Think of your kidneys as your body's filtration system. They're constantly cleaning your blood, removing waste, and keeping everything in balance. When they're not working right, bad things happen. The first test measures something called creatinine, a waste product your muscles produce. Healthy kidneys filter this out efficiently. The second test measures cystatin C, a small protein that every cell in your body makes. Again, healthy kidneys should be clearing this out of your blood. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Both tests are supposed to tell doctors the same thing, how well your kidneys are filtering. But scientists at NYU Grossman School of Medicine just discovered that when these two tests don't agree, when they give different results, it's not just a measurement error, it's a warning sign. Let's talk about the study itself because the scale is mind-blowing. This wasn't some small experiment. Researchers analyzed health records from over 860,000 people across 6 different countries. These participants had both their creatinine and cystatin C levels measured on the same day, and then researchers followed them for an average of 11 years. Here's what they found. When someone's cystatin C-based kidney function measurement was at least 30% lower than their creatinine-based measurement, that mismatch was a red flag. And I'm not talking about a small concern, we're talking about dramatically higher risks. People with this large difference were more likely to die from any cause during the study period. They faced increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease and dying from it. They also had elevated risk of heart failure and kidney failure. And here's the kicker, the larger the difference between the two test values, the greater the risk. Now, this affected 11% of outpatients, people who seemed relatively healthy, and 35% of hospitalized patients. That means millions of people walking around right now might have this mismatch without knowing it. Think about that for a second. You could feel perfectly fine, go to your regular checkup, get your blood work done, and buried in those results could be a warning that your body is sending an SOS signal, but only if your doctor knows to look for the disagreement between these two tests. So why would these tests disagree in the first place? This is where the biology gets fascinating. Creatinine and cystatin C are affected by completely different factors in your body. Let me explain with an analogy. Imagine your creatinine level is like checking the traffic on a highway. If you have more muscle mass, you naturally produce more creatinine, more cars on the road. If you're older or less muscular, you produce less. So your creatinine levels can be influenced by your age, how much muscle you have, your diet, even your race. Cystatin C, on the other hand, is produced pretty consistently by all your cells, regardless of your muscle mass. It's less affected by these external factors, which makes it a potentially more accurate measurement of actual kidney function, especially in older adults or people with certain conditions. When your kidneys start to struggle, maybe from disease, aging, or inflammation, they might not clear both substances equally. One might build up more than the other. That's the mismatch. And according to this research, that mismatch is your body's early warning system screaming for attention. Various factors besides kidney function can influence each test, but when there's a big gap between them, researchers believe it's revealing something important about your overall health status, something that goes beyond just kidney function. It might be capturing inflammation, cardiovascular stress, or other biological processes that single tests miss. This is why measuring both together gives doctors a more complete picture, like using two different cameras to see the same scene in 3D instead of flat. Alright, so what does this actually mean for your health? Let's get practical. First, the good news. Both creatinine and cystatin C tests are already widely available. Your doctor can order both. The problem is, most doctors only order the creatinine test by default because it's been the standard for decades. Here's what you can do. Next time you're getting blood work, especially if you're over 50, have diabetes, high blood pressure, or a family history of kidney or heart disease, ask your doctor to include both tests. It's that simple. If your results come back and there's a big difference, remember we're talking 30% or more, between your two kidney function measurements. Don't panic, but do pay attention. This is valuable information that you and your doctor can act on. The researchers behind this study, including Dr. Morgan Grams at NYU, emphasize that catching problems early is game-changing. Quote, "Since neither test is perfect, evaluating both biomarkers may identify far more people with poor kidney function and earlier in the disease process, allowing for preventative intervention." Think about it. If you can identify kidney problems or cardiovascular risk years before you feel sick, you have time to make changes. We're talking lifestyle modifications, medications, closer monitoring, interventions that could literally prevent kidney failure or a heart attack down the road. And here's something crucial to understand. Your kidneys and heart are intimately connected. More than 35 million people in the United States have chronic kidney disease, and many don't know it because early kidney disease rarely causes symptoms. By the time you feel sick, significant damage has often already occurred. But with this mismatch test approach, we're essentially gaining a crystal ball that can predict problems while there's still time to prevent them. Let's zoom out for a moment and talk about why this research matters on a bigger scale. Chronic kidney disease has become the 9th leading cause of death globally. That ranking is rising. These aren't just numbers, these are people, families, lives cut short by a disease that often progresses silently. The economic burden is staggering too. Dialysis and kidney transplants cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. If we could catch kidney disease earlier, before it reaches that critical point, we not only save lives but also dramatically reduce healthcare costs. This research is part of a larger movement in medicine toward precision health, using multiple biomarkers and data points to create a more accurate, personalized picture of each person's risk. It's not about one size fits all anymore, and this is probably just the beginning. As we get better at analyzing combinations of tests and understanding what discrepancies mean, we'll get even better at predicting and preventing disease before it starts. So, let's recap what we've learned today. 1. A mismatch between two common kidney function tests can predict serious health risks years in advance. 2. Over 860,000 people were studied, and 11% of seemingly healthy people had this concerning mismatch. 3. You can ask your doctor to run both tests, creatinine and cystatin C, especially if you have risk factors. And 4. Early detection could be the key to preventing kidney failure, heart disease, and premature death. Here's the bottom line. Your body is constantly sending signals about your health. Sometimes those signals are subtle, like two tests not quite agreeing with each other, but now we know that subtlety might be screaming something important. If you found this breakthrough as fascinating as I did, smash that like button and subscribe to Mind and Marvel for more science that actually matters to your life. Drop a comment below. Have you had your kidney function tested? Are you going to ask about both tests at your next checkup? I want to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious, stay healthy, and remember, sometimes the most important discoveries come from asking why two numbers don't match.